The dark psychology of first impressions. Control in 7 seconds. You have exactly 7 seconds. 7 seconds to determine whether someone sees you as competent or incompetent, trustworthy or suspicious, valuable or disposable. Most people waste these crucial moments with nervous small talk or anxious energy. But those who understand the dark psychology of first impressions use these 7 seconds to establish complete psychological control over how they're perceived. Today, we're going to explore the science behind instant judgments, why first impressions are nearly impossible to change, and how to weaponize those critical 7 seconds to create the exact perception you want. In anyone you meet, the neuroscience of instant judgment. When you meet someone new, their brain makes dozens of unconscious decisions about you before you finish your first sentence. This happens through the amygdala, the primitive part of the brain responsible for threat assessment and survival decisions. Within milliseconds, they're categorizing you as friend or foe, competent or incompetent, high status or low status. These snap judgments happen faster than conscious thought and influence every subsequent interaction you have with that person. Research shows that people form impressions of trustworthiness in as little as 100 milliseconds. Competence judgments happen within 500 milliseconds. By the time you've said hello, their opinion of you is largely formed. The psychology of confirmation bias. Someone forms a first impression. Their brain actively looks for evidence to confirm that initial judgment while ignoring information that contradicts it. This is called confirmation bias, and it makes first impressions incredibly sticky and difficult to change. If someone initially perceives you as confident, they'll interpret your later behaviors through that lens. If they initially see you as weak, even your strong actions will be reframed to fit their original assessment. This means your first 7 seconds don't just influence the immediate interaction. They set the framework for every future interaction you'll have with that person. The elements of psychological control. First element is energy management. Before you even speak, people are reading your energy. Nervous, scattered energy signals incompetence and low status. Calm, focused energy suggests confidence and control. Your energy should be purposeful, but not aggressive, confident but not arrogant, engaged but not desperate. This balance communicates that you're comfortable in your own skin and don't need validation from others. The second element is spatial awareness. How you enter and position yourself in space communicates volumes about your confidence and social intelligence. Move deliberately, claim appropriate space, and position yourself where you can see and be seen without appearing to seek attention. The third element is eye contact calibration. Too little eye contact suggests insecurity or dishonesty. Too much becomes aggressive and uncomfortable. The sweet spot is confident. Appropriate eye contact that acknowledges the other person without staring them down. The fourth element is vocal tonality. Your first words should be delivered with clear, measured speech that projects confidence without seeming rehearsed. Avoid uptalk, vocal fry, or speaking too quickly from nervousness. The mirror stratagem of the most powerful first impression techniques is strategic mirroring. Within those first 7 seconds, you can subtly match the other person's energy level, posture, and speaking pace to create an unconscious sense of similarity and comfort. This isn't obvious mimicry, which would be weird and noticeable. This is subtle matching that makes the other person feel like you're on the same wavelength. Their brain interprets this similarity as trustworthiness and compatibility. However, you should mirror their positive qualities while subtly elevating the interaction. If they seem nervous, don't mirror the nervousness. Mirror their energy level while remaining calm and centered. The competence signal people make competence judgments based on how prepared and purposeful you appear. This starts before you even speak. Are you fumbling with papers or phones? Are you uncertain about where to sit or stand? These micro-behaviors signal incompetence even if you're highly skilled. Competent people appear to know what they're doing, even in unfamiliar situations. They move with intention, speak with clarity, and seem comfortable navigating social situations without obvious anxiety or preparation. The status communication status is communicated through dozens of subtle signals that most people never consciously recognize, but everyone unconsciously responds to. High-status individuals don't seek approval or validation in their first interactions. They're comfortable with brief silences, don't over-explain themselves, and seem genuinely interested in others without appearing needy. Low-status behaviors include seeking immediate approval, oversharing personal information, apologizing unnecessarily, or trying too hard to impress. These behaviors trigger the other person's unconscious status assessment systems. The authority establishment is different from status. It's about perceived expertise and decision-making capability. You can establish authority in first impressions by demonstrating knowledge without showing off, asking thoughtful questions that reveal insight, and speaking with certainty about topics within your expertise. Authority figures also tend to speak in statements rather than questions, offer information rather than seeking it, and appear comfortable being consulted rather than constantly consulting others. Reading their first impression systems while you're managing your own first impression. You should simultaneously be reading theirs. Watch for micro-expressions, body language shifts, and energy changes that reveal their initial assessment of you. If you notice signs that their first impression is heading in a negative direction, pulling back, crossing arms, losing eye contact, you have a brief window to redirect. This might involve adjusting your energy, asking an engaging question, or demonstrating competence through a relevant comment. The recovery window. While first impressions are powerful, you have a brief recovery window if you notice things going poorly. The key is making a significant pattern interrupt that forces them to reassess their initial judgment. This might be revealing unexpected expertise, asking a question that demonstrates insight they didn't expect, or showing a dimension of your personality that contradicts their initial assessment. However, this recovery window closes quickly after the first few minutes of interaction. Their impression becomes increasingly fixed and difficult to change. Context and environments require different first impression strategies. Professional settings call for competence and reliability signals. Social situations might emphasize warmth and approachability. Networking events require balance between confidence and accessibility. Understanding the context helps you calibrate your approach. The energy that works in a business meeting might seem stiff at a social gathering, while casual energy might seem unprofessional in formal settings. The long-term strategy-first impressions aren't just about individual interactions. They're about building a reputation over time. People talk about their impressions of others. So your 7-second impact ripples through social and professional networks. Consistently making strong first impressions creates a reputation that precedes you. People start expecting competence and value from you before they even meet you, which makes future first impressions even easier. The ethics of impression management using psychological techniques. To influence first impressions raises ethical questions about authenticity and manipulation. The key distinction is whether you're revealing your best authentic self or creating a false persona. Impression management becomes problematic when you're pretending to be someone you're not, or when you're trying to deceive people about your actual capabilities or character. The most ethical approach is using these techniques to present your genuine strengths and capabilities in the most effective way possible. Advanced techniques once you master the basics. Advanced techniques include strategic vulnerability, where you reveal a minor limitation or challenge in a way that actually increases trust. And relatibility. Another advanced technique is competence demonstration through questions. Instead of telling people you're knowledgeable, ask questions that reveal your expertise and understanding. The ultimate advanced technique is making others feel important and valued in that first interaction, which creates positive associations with you that extend far beyond the initial meeting. The 7-second advantage master the psychology of first impressions, and you'll gain an enormous advantage in every area of life. Job interviews become easier when you establish competence immediately. Networking becomes more effective when people instantly perceive you as valuable. Relationships develop faster when trust is established from the first moment. Remember, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. But when you understand the dark psychology behind those crucial 7 seconds, you can ensure that first impression works powerfully in your favor rather than against you. Control those 7 seconds, and you control how the world sees you.